Welcome to Curse Breakers, the podcast where we dive deep into the cosmic shifts, astrological insights, and powerful tools that help you step into your full potential. I'm Jacki Smith, and with me is my co-host and astrology guru, Storm Sestavani, and together, with the help of the stars, we show you how to break those everyday curses.
Holla.
Hey, Storm.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, we have a theme for this week.
Mm-hmm.
Venus in Scorpio is the very important planet.
Right.
And I find it really interesting this morning on my rando Spotify play, I got 2 Eartha Kitt songs.
There's an interesting thing that happens whenever I start, like, for example, if I'm starting to write about anything with astrology, like I'm writing an article on Pluto, I will invoke the energy of the particular planet. Like, strange things will start occurring where, like, loud noises will start happening outside. Or, you know, one time I even heard like a weird, strange animal growling. And when I went outside, I was like, I've seen no animal.
Well, I love these Eartha Kitt songs because they're so Venus.
Yeah.
So the 2 Eartha Kitt songs was Let's Misbehave or something like that. And the other one is I Want to Be Evil. And so I guess I was like, wow, that's total Venus and Scorpio.
It's also
be
Venus
evil.
and Scorpio in detriment because the biggest role that Eartha Kitt played was Catwoman, which is kind of this very dysfunctional Venusian figure.
Yes. So that's so Venus and Scorpio.
Right.
So we just now, Venus and Scorpio was Eartha Kitt's Catwoman. We now have a visual for this and her little purr that she did.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, God, who wouldn't want to be Eartha?
All the trilling, though, would get on my nerves after a while.
Well, I mean, okay, I don't think she does that in real life, but have you ever...
Well, I don't think that she can do it anymore in real life. We'd have to call her up on the Ouija board, wouldn't we?
I mean, back then, I didn't think she did it on her daily.
Okay.
So, hey, Storm, let's get into what the week of October 14th through 20th is going to be all about.
Well, the thing about Venus in Scorpio as the VIP, and with her being in detriment, relationships over the whole week, Jacki, are going to be a little bit tricky. And past difficulties that may be unresolved may creep up to the surface. They may reappear. So if you haven't been having the conversations that you need to have with your partner or your business partner or your enemy, because, you know, Venus rules all these things, they're likely to come up in some particular fashion throughout the week, okay? And especially when you start to see some of the particular aspects, I'll make note basically where I feel that Venus may pop up. Like right away on Monday, the sun is going to square Mars in Cancer. When the sun squares Mars, there's a lot of potential for conflict. And it's kind of like I wrote Caffeine Meets Chaos. And so people are going to be all energized and all ready to go, raring and ready to go, and wants to go out there and achieve something and take on the world. And then you have this little pesky problem called other people.
It's so funny because Sun is in Libra, and Libra is about other people, relationships, and then the Mars is in Cancer, and then that is about taking care of people.
Right.
So, but they're squared, and Sun and Mars are squared. So it's kind of like Libra and Cancer are squared right along with them. So it's like going to be confusing.
Right. So when you apply that to also happening on that day, Venus is in Scorpio is going to oppose Uranus and Taurus. One of the things about Venus-Uranus aspects, Jacki, is I think that it triggers ambivalence, meaning there's part of you that wants something, and then there is part of you that wants to be free and doesn't want to be attached. And both of them are true at the same time. So you can see how this can really cause a roller coaster reaction, especially in regards to relationships, because it may be, you know, you want a relationship, you want to share your life with somebody, you want to be close to somebody. At the same time, you may not want the responsibility of that, or you may want a sense of freedom or a sense of not being bound to something in which you have a list of rules and regulations attached to it. So it can be this tricky period, and oftentimes, especially with these transits, it may trigger that particular side of you that's ambivalent. And I think that we all go through it at points in regards to relationships. Our partners annoy us on the regular, and I'm sure that we annoy the hell out of them. So So,
Yeah,
that
maybe.
ambivalence may be triggered and we may go through momentary thoughts of, I would just like to be free of this. Okay. And then, your wise mind kind of steps in. So you can begin to see this very potential conflict that's beginning to occur because the sun in square to Mars wants to go out there and charge right ahead. Okay. Venus in opposition to Uranus says, okay, but there's these other people that you have to take into consideration. And that may not necessarily be all that productive. Okay. So I think in regards to the curses that this brings up, Jackie, it's the curse of impatience and the curse of inflexibility.
Remind me, Venus is in Scorpio. And when did Venus go into Scorpio? When did we have that movement? Remind me when that.
Last week.
Okay. It just was catching up because
Venus moves through a sign in about 3 weeks. So she's fast like Mercury. She doesn't stick around for too long. Unless she goes retrograde, and then she may be in the same sign for 4 months, but we don't have that coming up. The next two big retrogrades that we have coming up is we have a Mercury retrograde and a Mars retrograde occurring, I believe, at the same time in December. So.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Forewarned, forearmed. So.
Yes. Get ready now. Mars candles. Mercury.
I love the candle. Yeah. Okay. I love the candle you chose for Monday, October 14th, with the Sun and Mars squaring, which is the curse breaker, the Sun. Why did you pick the curse breaker?
Anytime, Jackie, I think that when we're dealing with issues involving the Sun, because the Sun has to do with the individuality of the person. Oftentimes we can get very, very caught up in circumstances and situations outside of us, what other people think, other people's agendas, and those can begin to weigh on top of us. And I think that it causes a short circuit with the Sun because we're not getting our own needs met. And I think with the curse breaker candle, it helps to kind of remove that particular type of energy so that you can start to focus on your true desires and your wants and needs and where you need to go in regards to your life. And it kind of removes the schmuck around it.
Yeah. Well, and hey, if you're listening, the curse breaker candle, curse breaker, the Sun candle is the naming energy of the show. This is why we were called curse breakers, because of this candle, because it works so well. It really, kind of gently gives you a tap on the back of the head and says, get out of the way.
And also we wanted to, when we did the original iteration of this particular show was season 1, which was rather ambitious, by the way. The idea and the concept, Jackie, was people getting in touch with who they are as individuals and focusing on themselves and their own wants and needs and desires, and that this would allow people to be more productive in other areas of their life. The more that they're authentically themselves, the better that they're going to be able to be effective in regards to every particular dimension in life. So when you're breaking curses, the Sun is important because, number one, Apollo was the curse breaker. And number two, the more that who you are, the less I think that you're driven by what I would call fate. And at the end of the day, what I think that we're all fated to is to be ourselves.
I love that. I love that concept because who was it that said, be yourself because everyone else is taken? That was Oscar Wilde. Took me a second. I got there.
Yeah, I spent a long time trying to be everybody.
So we learned that. And I think we do that in our 30s and early 40s. And then because we're just figuring out our place in the world, and then we start to become who we are. And the earlier you can really embrace who you are, it's so freeing. And in future shows, when we don't have as much astrology breathing down our neck, we're going to dig more into breaking your own curses and really finding your authentic self.
Right.
I'm excited about that. We got some ideas. So now Tuesday, October 15th, and you call this the Dreamy Vibes and Emotional Blind Spot Day.
Yeah. Everything is magical. Venus is going to trine Neptune in Pisces. Now, I often, when I'm looking at transits, Jackie, I become more concerned about trines than I do squares and oppositions. Trines are so easy, okay? The energy is so easy. There's no obstruction to it. And when you have something like Venus in trine to Neptune, it is kind of like, when you first get involved in a relationship with somebody and you've got the butterflies and you're excited and you see everything in this very potential sort of way, that you don't necessarily look at, the fact that, last week he was arrested and, 3 weeks before that, he may or may not have been a serial killer. You're looking at all of these different things. So you're wearing rose-colored glasses. You're looking at things in this very dreamy, romantic potential sort of way. Great for creative projects, okay? If you want to pour yourself into your creative projects, do it. And I tell people to go with the flow in regards to this, to be inspired by Venus in trine to Neptune, but at the same time, try to stay centered in reality.
This reminds me of my moments of, I got an idea. And then I start like making plans of shifting everything in my life, because this is where I get excited about the new. I know it's not shiny objects to me; it's new ideas to me. And maybe we could do it this way and change everything in our lives and blah blah blah. And I have to calm that down. So this is a note today: is write down the idea, do not execute.
Right, and also I think it is the curse of seeing only what you want to see.
100%. 1,000%. Now, if it's the curse of seeing what you want to see, even with your excited and you get dreamy vibes and you have the love's enchantment energy, the blessed herbal candle, and that's just
right.
Think about that energy. Why that energy? Why not something really grounded?
Because I think it's still good, despite the fact that that there is this dreamy quality. I think we still have to participate in the particular energy of it. Okay? The energy is the energy is the energy. And I would rather people be enchanted by something and go with the flow of the magical feeling of relationship, because those are few and far between. You're not going to get that back again ever.
You're going to get some good vibes, that serotonin and dopamine hits. So you don't need to take anything, because Tuesday, October 15th is going to be your loving dopamine hit for yourself.
Right. You may not need chocolate that day. I mean, nothing. So that there's going to be all of this energy, Jackie. And I think that people need to participate in the energy. I think at the same time, they need to realize that it is the beginning, the initiation of anything has a level of excitement, and we want to see what it is that we want to see. And I think that we need to keep that in mind, that, this is what it is that I'm seeing. I'm going with it. He may kill me next week because his name is Ted Bundy. But but I'm going to go with it. It's fun.
And so this is a great day, again, absorbing and immersing yourself in all of this creative, dreamy energy, because sometimes this is when the flash of genius happens.
Right.
Those ideas, I'm like, I can't wait for this day, because I'm just going to get my crayons out and...
There's a particular level of genius that coincides with crazy.
Yeah. And just let it roll, let it flow, and then maybe the next day I'll look at it again, or in several days I'll look at it again going, do any of those still stand that test after my idealism is done? And so I love how you're talking about just flow into the energy, use it, and just use it in a way that's productive. And that's that curse breaking, is that go into the flow. So this is a great day for breaking creative blocks.
Right.
And also a great day for, if you were struggling in that relationship on Monday, on Tuesday, hey, let's have a new conversation about that.
Absolutely.
Let's love each other again.
I think that also, because on Wednesday, we're beginning to prepare for the full moon in Aries. So there's going to be this massive shift, Jackie, in regards to energy at that particular point. So you're going to go from this Pisces, Neptune dreamland into, I've got to do it. I've got to go out there. I've got to achieve what it is that I want to achieve. And the moon in Aries is like kind of hitting the gas pedal. It's zoom, zoom, vroom, vroom, let's go. I don't, why do I have to do things like wait? Why do I have to look at these? I just got to do it. And I forget which company did just do it. Was it Nike?
Nike.
That did just do it. That's a perfect moon in Aries type of symbol for people to kind of wrap their minds around. The difficulty, go ahead.
It's just like jump into that motivational energy, the get her started energy, and it's so needed, especially after you've had a ton of ideas, and then the next day you can come back to those ideas and go, well, what am I energized by? Mm-hmm. What do I want to actually take action on? actually take action.
And it's focusing on personal projects or activities to channel all that excess energy. It may be a great day for an extra workout, or it may be a day to go out for a walk, or to spend some time out in nature, or, do kickboxing, or, something that's really aggressive.
A nice cider mill treat.
Yeah.
This time of year. Well, of course, I'm in the Midwest, you're in the East Coast, but
yeah.
But we're in the north.
Cider. We have apples. New York is the apple state.
So we're in the north, and so this is just a trip to the cider mill. Oh, I love that.
But don't drive, walk to get out that Mars energy, or park a half a mile away. Just so that you can get out some of that excess energy. The other thing, Jackie, that's interesting, when I wrote this out, I wrote down to take calculated risks, but remember to be considerate of other people's feelings to avoid friction. And then I was thinking to myself, you know what? I need to get into the dictionary and look up the word calculated. What does that mean?
Okay, what does it mean?
It means to be done with full awareness of the likely consequences.
Interesting.
So when you're taking a calculated risk, you know what the consequences are. You know that if you fall flat on your face, you may have some serious implications there. And this is where I think that it is important in regards to this moon in Aries, because we are going to move into the full moon cycle, which I will talk about next.
Well, also October 16th means we're more than halfway through October to get to Halloween.
Right.
I mean, this is an important thing. I mean, we are on our way to Halloween.
You're all about that Halloween thing.
And so the energy, the recommended candle is the Energy and Will Blessed Herbal Candle that really taps into all that energy, and kind of, so in the Energy and Will candle, what that does is it helps focus that energy, so it's not just out there sparking. You're focused it in so you can channel it.
And it's also a channeling type of candle, Jackie, which is what I wanted, because of the fact that the curse for this particular day is the curse of self-will run riot. In other words, when you're not being considerate, or you're not taking calculated risks, you're just taking crazy risks. You're not taking a pause. I recommend to people to always, when the moon is in Aries, pause at least for 5 seconds and say, is this really what I want to do?
I like that.
And know what the particular consequences are, because when we shift into the full moon cycle, which happens on Thursday, this full moon is conjoined the dwarf planet Aries, and it's also squared the dwarf planet Pluto. Okay, so there's a lot of really intense energy that's going on there. Aries, Jackie, is about sometimes having to throw something in the mix. Aries is famous for throwing the golden apple across the table and getting 3 goddesses at war. Sometimes you have to mix it up. Sometimes you have to cause a little bit of a stir.
So Aries is the shit stirrer, is what you're saying.
Yeah, she is. And at the same time, Pluto is this very, very emotionally deep. It wants to dive deep into the, to the sewer and dig out everything that's causing the problems, and what's causing the backup, and what's causing the issues. So with this particular full moon, it's about releasing old patterns. And I think that, which of course we have the Let It Go candle to help with that. But, to help people release all of their own patterns. Because what it is, I think, that we need to let go of the most when the full moon is in Aries is letting go of the need of impulsiveness. It's of that not thinking.
Okay. So it's a Let It Go candle.
Right.
And that's the new moon.
Right. And that also, we also have
that's on the day. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the full moon candle.
Yeah, that's the full moon candle. Let it go. Let it grow is the new moon candle.
Yes.
Venus in Scorpio is also going to sextile Pluto on that day, Jackie. And Venus in Scorpio is this really, there's a lot of emotional depth to it. You may feel more connected with your partner. You may feel magnetically attracted to people. It's a great energy. And, so it's more about not having general chit chats about, how is the weather? Did you have a good day at work? It's about, how are you feeling today? What's going on with you?
So this is an opportunity for deep conversations. This is a day just to flow into it, so you can address some things that might be bugging you, like, for the love of God, put the toilet seat down, or something like that. And I think it'll be deeper than that.
And if you're feeling too emotionally intense, you can project that, Jacki, into either projects or, your own personal transformation. A great day to do some journaling, a great day to look at what's really going on inside of you. And since that aspect is a sextile, the things that you find out may be very positive. You may realize that you're further along than you thought.
Love it. So it's a good day to weigh yourself if you're on a weight loss journey.
Right. Now, Friday and Saturday, the moon is going to be in Taurus on both days. Now, late on Saturday evening, the moon is going to go into Gemini. So if you want to go out and do it at that point. Saturday is a great time to go out on the town, go to the pub, go to the bar, go out for a nice dinner. But on Friday and the first part of Saturday, there's the need kind of to be comfortable. So it's a great day to kick back, maybe do some stuff in regards to your house, Jacki. Take it easy, maybe do a little bit of, light cleaning, maybe do some meal prep, or even cook a comfortable meal for yourself, or doing a grounding ritual. That moon in Taurus, it's also what I call your monthly cheat day. So if you want to have that little extra meal, with a little bit more cream sauce in it, go ahead and do it on that particular day. And with the moon in Taurus, of course, I tell people to use the Do You candle.
It's such a good candle. That's that helping you find your authentic self.
And the good thing about this weekend, because over the past few weekends, Jacki, that they've been filled with astrological aspects, most of them not nice. This weekend, we've got this very, very easy type of energy because on Sunday, the moon is going to move into Gemini. You may feel a little bit restless. You may feel very talkative. You may want to engage in conversation with everybody and their mother. You may be easily distracted, which the curse here is the curse of distraction. But basically, I think it's a time to explore your curiosities. What are you interested in? What podcast have you wanted to listen to that you haven't to yet? And use this as a time for mental stimulation, to brainstorm, learn things new. Jacki, you're all about the brainstorming thing, so I'm sure you'll get a lot done that day.
Yeah, but I also, that's some of my best ideas are coming when I'm learning new things, because I'm connecting an old thought with a new thought, and it becomes the little maze of delight.
Absolutely.
I love when I can connect the dots on things and find a new understanding of it. But that's my Virgo-ness right there.
Exactly. Again, what I want to reiterate is that Venus is in Scorpio. She is in her detriment. Relationship issues may come to the surface. Some of them may be very uncomfortable. Okay. And try to deal with them in a thoughtful, mindful sort of way than just simply reacting to the particular energy. Choose to be Eartha Kitt.
And if there's one candle that could maybe help balance out the week or run the energy of the week, what candle do you think it would be?
Curse break.
I love it.
Curse breaker, definitely.
I want to circle back onto one thing we started the show with on the curse breaker candle. So lovely segue is finding ways to be or embrace or uncover your authentic self. Mm-hmm. Let's talk just a few minutes about what does that mean? I thought I was being myself, but then I realized I wasn't being myself. So what does authentic self really mean?
Being unapologetically you, throwing out all of the secretions that society has put on us, taking things on your own terms of when you want to do things, when you want to push forward. I did a whole 10 years of this, of developing this. And what I learned about the whole thing, Jacki, and the whole entire process was, at the end of the day, as long as I'm me and I'm pursuing the things that I want to pursue in life, that is what creates the authenticity. It's when I'm going to give up my career as an astrologer to be a landscaper. Somebody told me that's what I should do. Or I start to change things because it's been deeply influenced by somebody else, that I think that right. is the way to go. Also, it is about battling imposter syndrome, I think. And I think in our industry, Jacki, and I think any time that you're in a particular field that is a niche, or you're doing something that may not necessarily be embraced by all of society, like an astrologer or a witch, even though that we've made remarkable progress in these areas in the last 20 years, I don't think that we're 100% there yet. And as a result of that, I think that there is more of a tendency for us to doubt ourselves.
That's one of the things about your authentic self is it's okay to have a moment of doubt, have a moment of imposter syndrome, and then remember who you are.
Right.
And so how does somebody uncover their authentic self?
They burn curse breaker candles. No.
Absolutely. That's step one. And then what are they going to,
A lot of journaling, a lot of soul searching, a lot of really asking yourself the tough questions of, am I doing what I want to do because I want to do it? Or am I doing it because my old mother told me to do it? Or my father told me to do it? Or
social media is telling me to do it.
Or social media told me to do it. You know, I think a lot of people that are injecting things in their bodies right now because of what they're doing, you know, because social media has told them to, whether that be Botox or whatever, you know, so that they look better on Instagram is just ridiculous. Just use a filter.
Yet at the same time, if that is what you really value and enjoy, right. I see you, Libra, and that's part of your identity at the moment. I think that's you. I think we also, but
you're doing it because you want to do it, Jackie. You're not doing it because someone on Instagram or TikTok told you to.
Exactly. You know, I think that authentic self may change over the decades of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's natural because we're building experience upon experience. My authentic self for a while was, I'm going to do, you know, whatever it was. Great example. My authentic self was mired in motherhood and meeting my child's needs as best as I could in the moment. And then now that my child's an adult, my authentic self had to shift and say, okay, what's next? So it's okay as we travel through, I call it my versions of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yet at the same time, how I start to unpack my authentic self is, so what has been important to me all the way along? What have been the shoulds that I've succumbed to, and we can take those off the list.
We have something interesting that happens in astrology. Okay, now I pay a lot of attention to transits, which is what we talk about. But one of the things about your natal chart, Jackie, is that there's also a technique that's called progressions. So, for example, I have the sun in Leo, 21 degrees of Leo. Because of my particular age, which I'm not going to get to, my progressed sun is now in the sign of Libra. Your progressed sun now, Jackie, is, I believe, also in Libra. Okay. So because of where we are, or yours is in early Scorpio. So the main point of this is that as the sun moves through those signs, what it is that's authentic to you might change. What may be authentic to you in 2024 may be totally different than what was authentic to you in 2014. I know it is for me. At 2014, I just wanted to get through the day. Same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 2024, I don't think about it too much. 2024, I think about, you know, strange things like, you know, I've been doing a lot of stuff, Jackie, in regards to like a lot of outdoor stuff and hiking and going to camp and things that 10 years ago, if you would have asked me, are you going to do this? And you know this, Jackie, you know me pretty well. I would say, oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no.
You can sit up there in the little writer's studio all you want to, Jackie. I'm not going out to the woods. And then when I said, oh, I'm going out to camp, your response to me over Messenger was, who are you?
Yes.
But that shifts and that changes. You know, different things become important to us at different times. And I just thought that it was time, as I'm entering a certain age, for me to start to be focused more upon, you know, things that I haven't done that I want to explore doing to see whether or not I like them or not. Because I didn't give myself that chance in my 20s and 30s.
I love it. And, you know, it's interesting. You said you don't wake up in the morning, you know, panicked about who you are and what you're doing. I'm in a new stage where I do wake up in the middle of the night in a panic, because I'm in a state of evolution right now. And I don't have complete clarity on where it's going to go, and nor am I allowed to have clarity right now because I have a lot to explore and discover. The path isn't fully grown it's not ready yet for me. And that's an interesting insight I had this morning. Like, all right, as someone who has a lot of planets in Virgo, I like things to be plotted out.
I can tell you that what worked for me, Jackie, if this gives you anything, okay, a lot of writing. I did a lot of introspective writing.
Mm-hmm.
I also used a lot of meditation books. I purposely got meditation books on my Kindle for different things, codependency, standing in my personal power, a lot of Hazelden, and a lot of those are geared towards the 12-step programs.
Yeah.
But I still found meaning and insight in them because what they did, Jackie, was they grounded me in simplicity. And I found that simplicity, keeping things simple, for me at that particular point was the most important thing. And it's how I built myself back up from a place that I didn't want to be in to the place that I am now, which I'm very content and happy with who I am now because I really don't give a damn anymore.
I love it. And one of the things that I can tell you that I saw is we talk about this a lot. You got rid of all those shoulds.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them went away on their own because sometimes some of those shoulds are actually obligations, lovingly taken on obligations. And that's quite all right.
And my curse, Jackie, was caring about people too much.
Yeah.
Caring about what happened to people and wanting to help them and taking all of my particular blessings that I've been given with Jupiter in the first house and trying to help other people. And the gross realization that a lot of people don't want that. They don't want help.
Sometimes they want to figure it out for themselves. They want to.
Right.
I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine who is leading a volunteer group. And she's been exhausting herself. And I said, let them fail. And she goes, oh my God, that gives me such anxiety letting people fail. And I'm like, I know. So, but that's
you want to know why it gives her so much anxiety? Because that was my problem.
Tell me.
The problem in regards to it, Jackie, is that if they fail, I'm a failure. I internalized it.
Yes.
If I was helping somebody for whatever reasons, and then they failed, it was a reflection upon me, not a reflection upon them. I didn't do the right thing. So
interesting.
My ego was wrapped up in other people's success and other people experiencing things like I do. And I had a lot of problems, because I will be blunt. One of the things that I've been blessed in, Jackie, is that I have been able to make a successful career, very successful and very lucrative career in this field. And a lot of people in this field do not achieve what it is that I've achieved. Does it mean that I'm any better than anybody else? No. Does it mean that I have maybe have a little bit more je ne sais quoi or a little bit more ambition than other people? Possibly. At the same time, Jackie, I wanted to create, this is what I'm so successful at. Let me give you my program and this is going to make you successful. And because they didn't have I have Sun conjunct Mars, which is an enormous amount of drive, because they didn't have my level of drive and that they had other areas of their lives that were important to them, like relationships, which were not important to me at the time at all because I found them meaningless. It wasn't going to get me anywhere. So because they had these other areas of priority, they weren't able to be me. And then it was the realization, I can't make any other me's. I'm the only me there is.
You are, because you're the Tigger, because I'm the only one.
Yeah.
And it's very true because what in the coaching that I've been doing is with other business owners to help them get to their authentic self and their authentic business is like, don't worry about what your competition is doing. Because if you're focused on what your competition is doing or what other people are doing or what the market, you got to look at what the market's doing, but getting too wrapped up in exactly following the market, then you're leaving your authentic self.
At this point, Jackie, I don't follow like other astrologers as much anymore. There's a few that I think that have great business prowess. I think that Chris Brennan does a great job. I tend to follow more people at this particular point, like Christopher Penzak is one that I follow because I think that he has a great business model and a great business ethic. And it's not something that is directly connected to astrology, So I can look at his stuff and say, oh, that's a really good idea. I can become inspired by it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I'm just looking at what other astrologers are doing or other psychics are doing, you can get caught up into oh, I have to do that because that's the way that my business is going to work. And then it's not that authenticity. You're not inspired by it. You're doing it robotically because you think that that's what's going to work.
I was having a great conversation with some other magical practitioners. We've talked about the evolution of our practice and how when we came upon the powerful new thing at the moment, I don't want to call it new, but it's new to me at the moment. Like I'm diving in and learning something that's really powerful, that it's like, oh, that has to be it. That's it. Everything else is invalid. I've got the thing. I've got the answer. And I'm there for several years, decade. And then I start to find the next thing because there's a lot of validity in a lot of different paths. So now I need this path over here to learn because I have a new experience. So everything I've dove into, it's because it's what I needed in the moment. Although I got to tell you, lately it's spirits, ghosts, phenomenon.
Right.
That was not my plan.
Right.
To learn that. It was not my plan.
Right. And the other thing in regards to authenticity, Jacki, that I have learned, which was probably one of the most powerful things, is that the more uniquely, and remember that this is a process. This is not, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and I'm being authentically me. Who I am tomorrow may be a totally different person than who I am today. Okay. I may just, take another peel off that onion. But the more that you're authentically yourself, the more that you're going to, via whether you want to call it osmosis or by example or just being you're going to inspire more people to be themselves also. And you don't have to do anything.
The more you embrace your own authenticity, the more other people embrace your authenticity.
Right.
And authenticity can't be planned, programmed, goal set.
Right.
It can only be uncovered.
Right.
It's allowing yourself to be who you are. I love the journaling aspect. I love the exploring different meditations. Those are all part of what I'm doing right now too.
Yeah,
this has been a great
doing
show.
Something on the inside, not doing something on the outside. That's how you become authentically yourself. It's all inner work. It's not outer work. There is one book that I would recommend people go get. The book is called Inner Gold. It's written by Robert Johnson, and it is a book about becoming authentically yourself.
I love it. Hey, before we get going, we have a little business we have to take care of.
Sure.
By the way, this show is sponsored by Coventry Creations, and the candles that we've been talking about are some of Coventry Creations' beautiful, beautiful products. And you can find Coventry at coventrycreations.com. Also, I created a really cool thing for us. I created a calendar that can be subscribed to from your own calendar. So look on the show notes, wherever you're listening, look on the show notes. There's going to be a link to our Curse Breakers calendar where it's going to highlight the astrology, what the day is going to be like, things to look for, and what magic you can do for that day.
Good.
I'm having so much fun with it.
I've been having, that's the thing. Once we decided to get back into, I had, some issues that I had to deal with other people and other people's health problems and, some dealing with some stuff on my own. But once I started to get into the reboot of Curse Breakers and looking at a lot of the tools that are available to us that were not available 2 years ago, okay?
Or even a year ago.
It has actually made this fun. And another thing that I think that people need to do is that they need to make their lives fun.
Yes.
Because, if you look at the sun card in the tarot deck, it's this little child riding on this horse, and he's not he's just naked and riding on the horse. And I think that has to do with how we become authentic, how we become ourselves, has to do with that. Sometimes looking at things through the eyes of a child.
I love it. That's
and
true.
Having fun.
Yeah, that's true. I'm absorbing what you just said, and I just am let my eyes close and I let myself flow into the image of the sun card. And I was right there with you saying, that's exactly what I'm missing. And I have fun with weird stuff. Like I'll have fun really digging into new modes of magic or different modes of magic or using different things in crafting the spell I need, not just spell for a spell's purpose. I love working with yarn and fiber. I mean, I'll get really jazzed with some new yarn in my fingers.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, those are the things that I weirdly have fun with. So whatever your weirdness is, your new weirdness is getting out in nature. There's bugs out there
and shooting guns. I've actually shot guns.
That's kind of cool. I mean, there's a major release there.
Yeah,
so,
for the sole purpose of protecting myself from a potential bear. That's the whole reason. Next week, Jacki, our VIP is going to be the sun, so it's going to be kind of interesting what we're going to talk about. It's really about, focusing on your life and your personal ambitions in the areas of your life where you need to grow. So we're going to be talking about that. Also, Jacki, real quick, you have a conference coming up, the Gathering of Witches, right?
Yeah, that's coming up real fast, the Gathering of Witches. And they have their own website and everything, the Gathering of Witches. And there should be a link in the show notes too, because if you sign up through that, I get a little bump. I'm an affiliate. And so I'm teaching a class on candle magic and how to really make the most out of that candle that you're lighting, how to take your spell from just a swatch of the match into really filling your life with the energy you need.
And Jacki, where can people find you?
You can find me, of course, on CoventryCreations.com. We have a little chat on there if you need to locate me, and our email and stuff. And all the social medias, whether it's Coventry Creations or Coventry Candles, you can find us on any of those, and you can send a message through there to find me. It's easier than trying to find one of the 8 million Jacki Smiths in the world.
But there's only one Storm Sestavani, so you can find me at Storm Sestavani everywhere except Facebook. Facebook, I am facebook.com/Astro Gossip, and that's because I like to talk about astrology, so that's where you'll find me. And Jacki, what do they need to do in the meantime before they hear from us next week?
Whatever you do, keep it magic.
Speak life, everybody.